kind of a cool day in the mountains today. It was 37 when I got up this morning. It's been a brisk wind all day, hasn't it, Corie?
Oh yeah, it's been real windy.
So Corie's been out though in the wind working for me. Today she's weed eated and mowed for me and Matt, which was so nice. We're so grateful that she done that work for us. And Corie and I, after that, we're kind of planning what my week was going to be. I've got a lot of appointments this week with for Miss Cindy and for Granny actually this week. So trying to figure out how to squeeze it all in. We're still shipping cookbooks and so excited about that. Katie's been to the post office twice today. Twice. So we're still working on all that. Anyway, as we were talking about that, always I'm talking about the way we speak in Appalachia. I'm just plumb foolish about how our accent, our language, the words we use, the phrases we say and all that. And Corie knows that, and Katie knows, well, everybody knows that. Anybody that knows me knows that. But anyway, me and Corie, as we were looking forward and planning about different things we need to get done, looking to the future, I mentioned that we use the word take in a lot of ways. Actually, we were saying some words we just kind of make up. Other words we mispronounce. I have a video about mispronouncing words that's common in Appalachia. We add letters to the end or at the beginning or take them away. Do all sorts of funny things like that. But sometimes we just have certain words that we just really like to use a lot. That's what we were talking about. And I said one of them was the word take. So I told Corie, I was like, do you know there's like about 20 examples of how we use the word take in different ways in the Dictionary of Smoky Mountain English? She said that she thought that was hard to believe.
Yeah, so maybe 10 max, but I don't know about 20.
But I've got the big book.
You're going to prove me wrong?
And I'm going to prove her wrong. So we're going to go over some of the ways that we like to use take. And you'll have to tell us if in your area this is just common too. Certainly, I've talked about this in other videos too. Appalachia, there's not a gate around us that only people that sound like us live here. We know these words and phrases are in a lot of different places. That language traveled with people, the first settlers that come to the United States, and then as they traveled on west, a lot of it went with them. And any place where people kind of stayed for generations, it hung on, whether that was a lot of Appalachia because of various reasons, but also the mountains of Idaho or California or wherever it might be. So now let's see what the dictionary has to say. Let's see what the first one. Well, the first word is just take, a verb. And it's kind of talking about the different tenses of it. Did you ever learn like the tenses of verbs when you was in school, Corie?
Not much. We had grammar for like 1 year throughout my whole education. Yeah. Truthfully.
When I was a child, a young student, every year you had like half a year of English, we called it, but grammar, a lot of that was. And then the second part of the year would be literature, would be reading. By the time Corie and Katie come along, it was just all reading. They really never focused on grammar at their schools where they were at. They never focused on grammar anyway. But I remember those tests. You probably, maybe if you're my era, do too, where you'd have a word and you would have the present, the past, and have the little columns. The past participle, was that it? I think so. Anyway, yeah, I think so. Maybe I may be wrong about that. Anyway, you remember the little columns and putting the words in it. So it's just saying that sometimes in Appalachia you'll hear the past tense form. You'll hear taked, put the ed on it, taken, or took, T-U-C-K, took. Have you heard those? Mm-hmm. Taked, I taked my test. Yeah. I don't think you hear those as much. And then it was past participle. I was right. Past participle forms took, tooken, and then again the tuck, T-U-C-K, tooken. I don't know if I've probably heard those at some point. So that one, that's all it's talking about.
Well, but definitely the word took. I mean, I use that.
Yeah, but it's, I guess, tuck the way.
Right.
Yeah, tuck, which we may say it. We say took, tuck.
T-O-O-K.
Another, that's just talking about the tenses of it, but then one of the uses is to go, to begin. So he made a dive at my brother Richard and he took off running. That's exactly what we would say. He took off.
Yeah,
she took off to the store. She got mad and just took off outside, and I don't know where she went. So that one's pretty common. That's exactly what we would say. Yeah. To run, go directly with haste or energy in combination with an adverb or preposition of direction, such as after. That was the examples kind of we give. Took after, around, took around, took back, took behind, down, off, up, etc. So it's just saying, so here's some examples. Let's see if we can find one. Let's go all the way to 1939, Hall Collection, Deep Creek, North Carolina. So I went up and took around the mountainside and went across 2 or 3 spruce ridges. All at once, the bear came out and the dogs run out of the way and he took after me. That was Mark Cathy. Let's see. 1958, it was fine timber up Jakes Creek, but those citizens had a whole lot of it and took out and sold it. So they took out and sold it. So you've heard that one too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's just kind of the overview of the actual word. Now here's some of the other usages. So, take a class to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Katie took a class to learn how to do jewelry.
Yeah, take a class to learn whatever.
So that was, I'm going to take a class to Miss Jones, or I'm not going to take one at all. Oh, okay, I've missed it. So what me and Corie said was probably correct English, correct grammar for anybody. This meant from a certain teacher, so I've not heard that one. Take a class to take a class from a certain teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've not heard that one.
I see.
Yeah. Take a duck fit. I've heard that one. He was just taking a duck fit. Means he was just aggravated, mad, upset about something.
Heard that. I've heard like take a fit, but not a duck fit.
The next one is take a fit. Take a hard fit or take a spasm. I've never heard nobody take a spasm, but take a fit. To have an attack of anger, throw a tantrum. We've never seen nobody do that, have we?
No, me.
Yeah, Corey's got the
sorry.
yawns.
Every single time I sit down and be still to video with you, I yawn. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's like Robbie Lynn and Pastor Lon. They say every time they do a sit a spell, Robbie Lynn starts yawning.
Yeah, it's okay. I just
you get relaxed.
Yeah.
My talking drones on, and you're getting relaxed. Okay, take after. This is a good one.
Yeah.
You know that one.
Definitely.
So I think Corie takes after Matt and Miss Cindy. I think Katie takes after me, after the Wilsons. So that's a good one.
Definitely use that one.
This is another one we use a lot. Take and. So to take, start, to followed by an inflected verb and expressing the deliberate or immediate action conveyed by the second verb. Let's see, 1956 Hall Collection, Del Rio, Tennessee. You take and dry the corn out real good and dry. So that's one I'd probably say that to y'all all the time. Corie, take and drain out that kefir and make me some more water with it. Would you do that? Take and do this. Corie, take the weed eater and weed eat the yard.
I definitely use that. Yeah. I know I use that one.
This one's a common one too. Take a notion. If you take a notion.
Yeah.
Means just you decide to do something. 1981, Great Smoky Mountain National Park. When he took a notion to whoop a boy, he'd bring him up there and talk about the dust of flying. So that was somebody getting a whipping, but take a notion. You might hear somebody say, I took a notion and decided to drive over to Franklin.
Right, to go somewhere.
Yeah, to go somewhere. Or took a notion to make an apple pie today.
You're surprising me. You've got more of these than I thought.
Yeah, I told you. I knew there was a lot.
It's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. So take a shine. If you take a shine to something.
You like it?
Yeah, that's a common one you hear a lot, right? So I took a shine to Matt the first time I ever seen him. Ain't that sweet, Corie?
Yeah.
I guess you did to Austin, too. Mm-hmm. Took a shine to him. So that means to develop a liking for someone or take a fancy to. But it could be anything, though. Granny sure took a shine to crocheting when she first found out.
I'm sorry,
it's all right. It's all right. Take a spasm, that one we just said a minute ago. I've never heard that one. Take a spell. Now I've heard that one.
Yes, I definitely have heard
that. She's took a dizzy spell this morning. I'm worried about her, but you know she takes those spells a lot. Take back. Take bad. Take sick. You know Granny's heart. You've heard Granny say that one. To become seriously ill or confined to bed. See also bad to take sick. It says take down. I don't know what to take down. You wouldn't use take down, but his wife took sick and died. You know, he did wash of his own and he could cook. So that was talking about somebody, but we use that one. He took sick and he didn't last long after that.
Yeah.
Or she took sick real sudden last night, and I hope I can get her to go to the doctor today. So that one's really common. Here's the take down, to go down. To become seriously ill or confined to bed, to become depressed or lose heart. Now, I've heard take to bed. He took to the bed, but I've not heard take down. I've never heard
No,
that one.
I would say more like he's come down with the flu, not take down or took down with it. I'd just say come
take
down.
down, we'd be more like, I'm going to take you down.
Yeah, I think more like that.
Yeah. This is a good one, a common one. Corey's heard take hold. Sometimes you're take holt with that T on the end, but that means like what could mean literally, I'm going to take holt of Corey, but also a situation that's going on. I'm going to take hold of that and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to straighten it out. To apply oneself or take charge. So that's like I was saying, I'm going to straighten it out. Take in, this is an adverb phrase, of a school term or church service to begin session. So I doubt you hear that very much anymore, but when I was a girl, a teacher might say, it's time to take up books. Like, it's 8 o'clock, it's time to take up books now. Quit all your talking and all that. The same thing could be said for a church. It could be take in or take up. I've only heard take up, though. I've never heard this one, but I like it. Take it tedious. Take it tedious is a verb phrase. To go to the trouble, to belabor. So you needn't take it so tedious just as to ask. I'm going to have to start over on this one. You needn't take it so tedious as to ask every man you meet on Stokoa what his name is. Just say, hello, Mr. Crisp. So there must have been a lot of Crisp that lived on Stokoa. I like the word Stokoa. It's in over near Robbinsville. Beautiful, beautiful place. But Ginger, my friend Ginger, says Steakoa. And we say Stuckoa. And then Sonny Rickard also says Steakoa. It's just a different way. And Ginger is from Robbinsville. So it's interesting how people say words different. I heard her say it the other day, and I was like, you say Steakoa? And she's like, yeah, what is it? And I said, I say Stuckoa. But I said, you know who else says Steakoa? Sonny Rickard.
Yeah.
And he's from Robbinsville, too. So take loose, verb phrase, to set out suddenly or hastily to do something. And it's saying the other way is cut loose. That's what most of us would hear, I guess.
Cut loose, yeah.
But here's the sentence from Smoky Mountain Interviews. We tuck loose and let the cattle in. That was Buster Cable. We took loose. We took loose. I've not heard that one. Take off. We certainly hear that one. I'm going to take off. Got to go to town. Or I've enjoyed the visit. I got to take off.
Yeah.
Got to go home.
Definitely have used that.
Take on. I've accused Corie and Katie of taking on before.
Yeah. Or you might even use that in a different way and say, I'm taking on too much.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Tired
like
or
I'm
whatever.
taking on, but this was talking about to go on. Like you're just taking on about it too much. It'll be okay. Settle down and calm down. Also, to make a show of emotion, as in sulking, grieving, or moaning loudly, to make a fuss about. So they were just taking on, and I said, it's not that serious. You just need to calm down. So that's a common one here. Take one's backtrack. I don't know what that one, we have to go somewhere else to see that, but I've not heard it. Take out. You think about take out, it's like food.
Or take out the trash.
Yeah, take out the trash. But to go out, to start out, or take a break. So 1958 words from Tennessee. Whenever you take out for dinner, stop by here. So that's not like saying, that's kind of like saying you're leaving. So whenever you take out for work, be careful. They're working on the bridge down there, so you might get held up. So take out. They're using it to start. I've not ever heard that one, but I like it. Take rheumatism. That's one none of us want to hear. To develop arthritis. I took rheumatism in my hand, and I went to Dr. Bob Medford for a good bit, and he told me that death cured it, and that's about right. That was a bad, but I guess maybe so. There's nothing that cures it. I don't know. So, you want some more?
Yeah. This is interesting.
Yeah. Take roundance. Take rounders. Take rounders. I've never heard that one. To go around an obstacle, avoid a problem by circumventing it. Roundance. Never heard that.
Yeah,
A member of Old Sledge's congregation advised him to take roundance of Devil Bill Jones' crossroads. Don't go there. Take roundance. It's like go around.
Some of these last couple ones I've never heard. There's been a lot of the first ones I've heard, though.
To climb a slope by winding around or back up and forth rather than by going up directly. That's take roundance again. So I guess if you follow the switchbacks, you're taking roundance. I don't know. Take sick was kind of like we said the other one. Take bad. Take sick to die. That's something you don't want to do. To develop a life-threatening illness or condition. But we would still just say take sick, not take sick to die. Take the baby. I've heard that one. To deliver a baby by forceps or cesarean. I can't believe that one's not common everywhere. We had to take the baby. We had to take Corie and Katie when I had them. I went hoping I was going to have them and couldn't have them, so I had to take the babies.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I assumed that was kind of universal. Like, you would just say, well, they had to take the baby, just meaning the doctors had to, intervene.
Right. Take the big eye. We do that sometimes here. Take the big eye.
It means you can't sleep.
Can't sleep, yeah. Take the notion. That was back. We've already kind of said that one. Take two, to begin. That's kind of some of the others. You can see the different variations. But he took to faulting her. He fell off till he was slim as a rail almost, and took to groaning in his sleep and singing love songs about hard-hearted girls. That was Hawk's done. So he was lovesick. So what was wrong with him? Okay. Take 2 rows at a time. I've never heard this one either. And that's a verb phrase, to sleep soundly. Take 2 rows at a time. I wish that for everyone, that they could take 2 rows at a time.
Yeah, I never heard that one.
Yeah. 1939 Hall Collection, Cataloochee. I was, North Carolina. I was taking 2 rows at a time when the breakfast bell rang this morning. Taking 2 rows at a time. So I guess it just means you were sleeping really soundly. Take up, which goes back to the time to take up books or take up school or church, but also could be to arrest. The law took him up, and they couldn't prove it direct on him, and they just turned him loose. Turned him loose. Took up. See,
dang.
You don't want to get took up like that.
No.
Get arrested.
Rather not.
Let's see.
We got more still?
Yeah, I told you. There's a lot. We're almost to the end of it, though, I think. Another one is, and you've heard this one, I know, very common, take up with. Corie took up with that old Austin.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that.
They stayed together. They end up getting married.
I've heard that one before.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a bad way. Maybe you take up with somebody that's ending up to no good, and then before you know it, you're up to no good too. But take up with, to become attached or infatuated with. Cohabit with.
Yeah, Olive has took up with me.
Yeah, Olive has took up with Corie. She can't go anywhere without Corie. Or Corie can't go anywhere without her unless she whines and cries. Take with, to put up with, tolerate. They wanted to drive me out of the settlement because I wouldn't take with their ways. I wouldn't take with their ways. I like that, but I don't really hear that one. And that is the end of the takes. So,
wow.
What do you think about how many takes there was?
I had no idea. It's really interesting, and it makes me wonder about other words that there's that many different ways to say them. I definitely say a lot of those, not all of them. Some of them I had never heard before, and it's very interesting because a lot of them I would just say, I'm trying to think of some of the examples, I would just say it in a different way, but it's fascinating. Meaning the same thing, but it's fascinating that back then, and especially in the certain communities of Appalachia, that's how they talk. So there would have been multiple people who that was very normal to them, and even though a lot of it is normal to me, it's just interesting to see kind of how language kind of progresses. Yeah,
changes always. It's a living thing, you know. Sometimes societal just changes. Things fall out of fashion, so you don't need to talk about them anymore. Sometimes it's things like that, and other times it's, you know, people correcting your language so you don't say those words anymore. You use more common or more proper, whatever, if you will, words. So lots of different reasons. But yeah, it's always evolving and changing.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah. But lots of ways to use the word take.
I wasn't really sure when you're like, there's like 20 ways. I was like, I don't know about that, Mama. You're going to have to prove it to me.
Yeah, so I think I proved it to her.
Yeah.
But we hope that you'll leave a comment and tell us, though, if you were familiar with all those. Maybe they're common where you are, where you live. I hope so, especially some of those unique ones that me and Corie's never heard of. I hope somebody out there is still using them.
Yeah.
I'm always hopeful when we talk about words, it'll continue
Yeah,
to
catch
keep
'em.
them up. And a lot of times people will leave comments and say, I've not thought about that in years, but my grandpa said that, or my grandmother, or my mother or father, or folks where I used to live said that, and I hadn't thought about it in ages. So maybe that's the case, but leave a comment and let us know. And as always, we hope you'll drop back by to help us celebrate Appalachia. And I'm always going to want to talk about what's in the big book and any other reference books. I'm just plumb foolish about the language of Appalachia.